How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm also good. Thank you for asking. So, I'm currently in a training. I'm very new to this from Bill Wash. I'm not sure if you know him, but
hmm
I'm uh, I'm from him and Pablo. I don't know if you know him, a Spanish guy. He sent me actually to you to ask him questions because I'm
Yes.
yeah very new, and I wanted to say like first of all, is it um how how difficult is it to get it on a part-time offer for, let's say, closer or setter, because I'm working a 40-hour job right now, and I was curious, um, is it something that I should settle with for first of all being a setter, or should I already go for a part-time closer, or how would you do that to do it like combined in the beginning?
Yeah.
Or
So
what is your
here's
take on
the
that?
here's the distinction. You're I don't want to say never, but you'll very rarely see a job post that says looking for part-time setter, looking for part-time closer. They are out there, but you'll rarely see it. That doesn't mean you can't work part-time at companies that don't, you know, post that they are part-time, because just the nature of this role, it's just not an hourly based type of position, right? It's more along the lines of results. So I've worked with setters that work dial 3 hours a day. They hit their KPIs. They're happy. Boss is happy. Everyone's happy, and they go from there. But obviously, they could double up their time and then exceed their KPIs, right? But it really, like, what I like to say is part-time roles are negotiated, not advertised. And by nature of the role, it's easier to get a part-time role as a closer, just because most of those positions are booked in calls, and you can actually schedule out 3 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours. You can schedule out what that part-time looks like. Whereas the setter position can be a little bit more difficult to do part-time if we're working on inbound leads, because the most important aspect of being an appointment setter is speed to lead. So if you think about it, you're a business owner, you're spending a bunch of money on ads, leads are coming in. I have leads come in from morning to night, middle of the night, all through the night, all times of the day. Leads are coming in, and most businesses won't like the idea of you letting those leads sit all day until you're available during a specific work block. Setters, they still pick times when they're going to dial, but usually they'd want you dialing at that hottest time. So it would usually work if that time you are available, that part time you do want to work, is during the best pickup times that they have or something. And that's why I say it's negotiated, not really advertised. So you can go and negotiate it. Um, but I've seen it work best with closer roles, but that also being taken into account that closer roles are on average harder to land than setting roles anyway. So it really just depends on your skill set, what track record you're coming with, if you have some or none, or training, or the types of company you want to work with. There's so many variables, so that there's not one specific or perfect way to go about it. And then on top of that, there's also a bunch of business owners that have their own ideologies for what they would like to see as well. So, I mean, you can definitely kind of make whatever you're looking for work for the most part, if you're able to negotiate it with the right business owner. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Okay. Yeah, no, that does make sense because I in my idea, I was thinking that actually setters were more big for part-time as it's a more, let's say, it's a backbone of a company, right? Because that's how you're gonna get calls, but for closers. But I thought that setters were more operative like throughout the day. But I didn't look at it this way, so I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
because the
good to know.
setter role is more of, like, I guess a hustle role where you're just trying to set as many appointments as possible. There's not really a limit, right? Whereas a closer role, especially if it's an offer where they have a good amount of inbound leads, they kind of just have a certain amount of closers that are taking up a certain amount of slots every day, right? So I've seen a lot more part-time people be like, "Hey, I'll take calls from 6 p.m. to 7 or 8 or 9 p.m. in the evenings, and then whatever calls that book around there and book around then, and then you take those calls and you go from there." I've seen that way more often than, if a company's getting leads coming all day every day, they wouldn't usually want to hire someone who's like, "Hey, I know the leads are coming in all day every day, but I'll only dial them from this time," right? Because there's lots of setters that would just do it full time anyway. So the only
Yeah, I
time
understand.
where, as a setter, it's totally fine, and you can get a lot of easily part-time stuff. Is if you're doing more cold calling based off of like generated lists. So there are business owners that'll use softwares like Zoom Info or just other platforms that they scrape emails and phone numbers from just like data collection stuff, and then you would call them whenever you're available. But because they're not paying for those leads, they're not too worried about speed to lead and stuff like that because they're not like opted in leads from advertising. So you can find a lot of those pretty easily for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Then I've another question. Thank you for answering that one. Based upon that question, my friend Pablo also said that on the RepSelect, RepSelect, there was also somewhere on the website that had all the pipelines and all the different websites on where to go. Is that still there?
Like, well, yeah, RepSelect is still up and running. We've got jobs that we post every day, but then there's also, I think what he meant was the recruiter pipelines.
Yeah, that's what he
So
meant.
yeah, so that's still there, just on the homepage. Once you log in, you'll have a list of some of the best recruiters that I know of, that are recruiting for all of the top companies. Some of them are recruiting for like Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and like all these other, some of them bigger companies, some of the smaller companies. But pretty much, I just took a list of all the recruiters that I know of, that are recruiting for really good offers, and put it there for you guys to be able to just apply to all of them, reach out to all of them, and you can get placed pretty quickly depending on how well you show up to those recruiter interviews.
Where are those on the, because I tried to find them, but I couldn't find them. Maybe I'm totally blind, but
Yeah. Yeah, just if you go to repselect.io, hit login. If you haven't created an account, you just create an account. Once you sign up, go through all of that stuff. It'll be right there.
give me one
And
minute.
yeah, just shoot
Sorry,
me a
if you could give
message.
me 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah, just go through that. Shoot me a message if you have any issues. But other than that,
Oh,
any other questions?
sorry, could you repeat the last sentence? I'm sorry, I was getting
Yeah,
called.
just go to RepSelect.io, and then top right corner you'll see like login or sign up. If you have an account, just log in. If you don't,
Yeah.
just sign up, and then it just follow the onboarding stuff, and eventually you'll get to the homepage, and then you'll see like new jobs, and then you'll see recruiting pipelines. Once you, again, it's right in front of you if you just go through it. So once you go through it, if you get stuck anywhere, just shoot me a message on school, and I could help you
Okay,
from
I'll
there.
do. Yeah, because I did sign up and I couldn't see it after, but I'll just recheck it. And maybe
Cool.
I'll recheck
Message
it.
me on school, and I'll just send you a direct link to it,
Okay,
like to
perfect.
where that
Thanks so
page is.
much.
Cool.
Okay, then all my questions are answered.
Awesome. Any other questions? What else you got? MH, what's up, man?
Thank you so much, Ty.
What's your actual name? So I don't have to call you MH.
It's Mohammed.
Mohammed, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you. So yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank you for setting up the Rep Select. It's really, really useful, very affordable, and I just set up my profile and applied for like 4 jobs, and I got a job immediately, like within the first 2 days.
Nice.
And yeah, yeah, I'm very grateful for that. It's a setter offer, and I've already been doing it for about 25 days now. The issue, and that's why I hopped on this call, that is that I haven't been able to, not just me, the whole team there, we haven't been able to make any, any deals,
Is it the
or
closers not
even
closing?
not really, actually. The problem is us booking appointments. We simply can't get people to get on appointments at all. Uh,
Are they generating leads? You're calling them. Triage calls just aren't going well. Not able to book them, or
they're giving us leads, and it's a full-time job. I'm trying to at least dial 100 calls per day. I usually
mm-hmm.
do between 100 and 200,
Mm-hmm.
because again, the leads are simply businesses, so
Mm-hmm.
it's always the general phone number. And yeah, I go and do a bit of research, find the business owner's name, and sometimes I can even get his direct line, like his cell phone, and I try to call them and pitch them. But I'm having like out of let's say 150 calls per day, I'm only getting 10 conversations with business owners. And
Mm-hmm.
out of those 10 conversations, maybe one of them would actually be a full pitch. The other ones will just be not interested or,
So it sounds like that's more of a cold calling role, right?
it is a cold calling role. Yes.
Okay. So if you're doing a cold calling role, the averages and numbers are definitely a lot lower as to how many you are going to book on average. So we're probably looking at 1 to 2 sets every 100 dials is the average usually for cold calling. Um, Around, depending on where the leads are coming from, maybe 20, maybe 10, maybe 20, 30 conversations, depending on what times and stuff like that you're dialing. There's two things that could be why you guys aren't booking calls. It could be either, I mean, just the framework, script, whatever you guys are following, or what you're offering to that specific demographic if it's a something that they need at the moment, right? So we definitely could dive in. Do you have, and maybe not for this session, but do you have like any recordings of your conversation so we can hear what's actually being said?
Yeah, I do have. I've got to download them off of
Okay.
GHL.
Okay. So I don't know if you'll be here on Wednesday because I know that's for the members one, but next Monday, if you could, bring those recordings and let's just take a listen and hear what they're saying, and I can break down what my thoughts are on why those people aren't booking with you.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No problem. Mary, you had a question?
Yes. So I just signed up last week and I'm trying to figure out the like website and the school. Like, how does that? Because I guess I would say I'm kind of overwhelmed with like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing now? And
Mm-hmm.
so if you can kind of explain to me how those two work together or like what you would suggest as next best first steps.
Yeah, no problem. So the RepSelect platform is just all about landing jobs, right? We got the recruiters, we've got the jobs that we post on their daily, and then the school is all about training, support, that kind of stuff. And then when it comes to training, there's really two aspects of it. There's, well, you could say there's three, but there's the sales skills, and then there's the, I guess, interview, branding, whatever skills of like actually finding and landing jobs. So the school is meant to help with the skill development. The RepSelect software platform is meant to just save you time in your search because it's consolidating a lot of the jobs that are out there, and it's pulling in a lot of business owners coming to the platform, posting roles, inviting reps that have good profiles. So for someone to like use the RepSelect platform and not utilize the school, that might be someone who is like, okay, I can make a great intro video. You know, I'm confident in my ability to jump on interviews, sell myself. Maybe they've been in the industry before. They're just trying to save some time in their search, and they're just going to jump on. They're going to apply to some roles, apply to some pipelines, get hired, and away they go. I added in like the school platform might be for someone who maybe doesn't have a track record at all or less, or maybe they're like, how do I make a great intro video? How do I show up to these interviews and answer interview questions? Or even on the flip side, how do I actually perform in this role as an appointment setter or as a closer? So how you go about utilizing both would just depend on which one of those you are or somewhere in between. So if I were to ask you, is this like your first time getting into remote sales? Have you been on offers before and you're just looking for your next one? Where are you at?
So I am a health coach myself, so I have some experience with sales calls. Unfortunately, I don't have a strong pipeline, so I don't have a ton of experience. I just recently did an academy that I got some training, and there was some role play with that. So definitely could use work on the skills. And the tricky thing for me is like I said, I have my business background and then I also have like customer service, that type of a background. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
figuring out how to sell that, if you will, in the resume and the video and that side of things, where it's like I don't have necessarily a lot of direct sales call experience, but I
Mm-hmm.
have valuable experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming from running your own offer, there's a lot that can be pulled there to now transition into, I guess, a closer role or a sitter role, depending on what you're looking for. Um, the first thing everyone should do if they're looking for an offer is understand that the intro video is your number one asset. Most business owners don't, unless we're talking, and this is, we have to differentiate the more corporate type of remote sales, which we do post some of those. Corporate meaning like the SDR, account executive type roles. And then there's the kind of like info products, high ticket sales thing that you see all over Facebook, which is, you know, health coaching, business, fitness, consulting, even advertising agency work, that most people are looking to get into. That side of the industry usually just, they just and for most cases don't care much about resumes and all that typical stuff that you would apply for a normal job. The intro video is your resume. So the first thing you want to do is have a great intro video. A good intro video and a bad intro video just flat out determines how many interviews you get, right? If it's good, you'll get a ton. If it's not, you'll get none or less. So again, how would you utilize a school? If you're like, I know how to create an intro video, I even, I have a video on how to create it. If you take that and you're like, cool, I know what to do, you make your intro video. Again, you start applying and you go from there. But also part of what these calls are all about is I can help you script the intro video. I can critique your intro video, critique your RepSelect profile. We can go through it and give you tips and stuff like that. And then obviously it's how do you answer interview questions? Are you prepared for that? Some people don't usually practice that. I would say if you're nervous about how you show up to interviews, doing interview mocks and even bringing those here to get reviewed, just like how you'd get a sales mock call reviewed. We can help you answer interview questions. I know what a lot of these recruiters are looking to hear and how they're looking for you to answer. So we can definitely talk about that. But if you're ready to get on an offer right now, it's going to be create a great intro video. And what's going to help, not massively, but it does add a little bit more to it, is a portfolio of examples of how you sell. So this could be like clips of mock calls. For you, Mary, since you probably sold your health coaching, examples of any tracking sheets, metrics, numbers, examples of how you set those appointments, how you close those appointments, just anything that proves that you've sold in that niche before. Obviously picking health and fitness as a niche would make it even easier for you to land roles because you have a background in selling that. So it really just depends on where you need help in that process. So I'll ask you, do you have an intro video already?
I created one, but it's not, I mean, it's good, not great. So I'll definitely be going to the school and to see what your advice is on that and kind of the length of it and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So watching that video in the kind of like RepSelect course in the school, I think we even have it in the like interview training portal on the app itself. But watching that, there's like a 20-minute video where I explain like this is what the intro video should look like, sound like. Following that, making that, and then once you've made it, you can either post it in the community or bring it to one of these calls, and I'd be happy to give you feedback if you want me to. And then, yeah, it really just comes down to submitting applications. The way I would go about submitting applications is you want to think of it you want to think of each business that you're applying to as a lead, and the chances of you landing that role go up if you treat that lead or show that business that you treat them how you would treat a lead in their own business. So what I mean by that is if we think of as a sales professional, how would I treat a lead? You would reach out, but then you would follow up, you would reach out on other platforms, and you would do what it takes to get in touch with that person and stay connected. I'm not saying do this for every single job, but the ones you really want to land, you see it's a strong team, they got a lot going for them, they've got a good social presence, all that stuff, you would do a little bit extra. You don't have to do it this way, but it will increase the amount of interviews you're looking to get. There are people that just do quantity over quality, and I've seen people say, hey, I spammed 200 applications in 2 days and got a bunch of interviews and landed a role. You can go that route if you want, if you're just looking to land anything.
That sounds absolutely exhausting.
But if you're just like, okay, I want to land a good role with a good company, you would scroll through, find a good company. Even with the recruiters, I would suggest doing this, submitting your application. Sometimes we put their contact link before or at the bottom. where it shows their LinkedIn, whatever. But if not, you would just look them up on Google, look them up on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever, then reach out directly. And that will, everyone that's done that has gotten way more interviews. And the reason why is because if you've got 100 applicants or 50 applicants or however many you've got, the amount of people that actually do the work to reach out directly is very, very minimal. I've put out job posts for my own sales teams where I've gotten 300 applicants and 5 people reached out directly. And one of
And
them
it helps
followed
them
up.
stand out. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you think about just how humans use their devices, how often do you check your DMs on a social platform versus how often do you think you sign into your like applicant tracking backend and like see who's applying? You know, you might check that once a day or once every couple days or once a week versus you're checking your DMs every couple hours sometimes,
They're
you know?
always pinging. Right. Exactly.
Exactly. So you're just, it's just about being top of mind and they're just going to remember you. So that's what I would do is then I would reach out directly. Now, as for how you reach out, this is very important because I do get people reach out and their reach out is just like, hey, I'm a closer, hire me. Or, hey, I'm an appointment setter. And then that's it. They don't say anything else. Right. But you want to try to make it as easy as possible because just human beings, as soon as something requires us to do a little bit of work, we kind of move on to the next thing or procrastinate on it. Right. So if you're reaching out to a recruiter or a business owner and you say, hey, I'm a closer, you're requiring them to now go out of their way to look into you, see if you're a good fit, and then interview you or ask you questions to see if you're a good fit, then decide to interview you. Where to them, again, they're probably not on their social media to do that type of work. If they're looking at their applicant tracking pipeline, they're there to look more into people. So that makes sense. But if they're just checking their DMs, they're not there to do the work of looking into you in this moment. So they're probably just going to not respond or just move on. So the type of message that I found gets a lot of good feedback, especially with recruiters, is to shoot them a message and let them know that you followed their process. Because because some people might hear this and be like, well, why apply in the first place? And that's because business owners, like, they want to see that you're in their process, their system, especially if they have a certain pipeline that they want to go through with hiring. You just want them to collect your data properly. And I've seen if you don't do this, a lot of times they'll just say, did you apply? And they'll send you to the job post to apply anyway. So you want to say something like, let's say Mary was the business owner and she was hiring for her health coaching business. I would say, hey, Mary, saw that you're hiring a closer of your health coaching business. I went ahead and submitted my application. Here's a little bit about me, or here's why I think I'd be a great fit. And then you actually give her reasons why you're a great fit. I think we're a good fit. I take my health very seriously. I am interested in this. I've done this in the past. I used to work at a health wellness spa or something. Like, you know what I mean? You give her really good reasons as to why you're a good fit. And then you could say, here's a little bit more about me. And that's where you can use like that RepSelect share profile where you can share because it's got everything in there, or you can use like a doc or a drive, whatever you've got. But that's where you can send, even just if you sent your intro video, whatever, this is where you'd say, here's a little bit more about me, send that, and then send that whole message. So now when that business owner opens up that message, they see, okay, you submitted your application, so I'll probably see you in there when I go check. And then they read those reasons why you're a good fit. And now it just comes down to whether those reasons are actually good enough. If they read and they say, oh, that's actually a really good reason, she might actually be a great fit. The chances of them responding or being like, hey, let's do an interview, or just dropping you a calendar link to book with them, go way, way, way up because you've done some of that work for them. And this is for business owners. And now if we take that same idea and do it for recruiters, it's even more so because recruiters get spammed all day long from sales reps just being like, hey, I'm a closer. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Right? Hire me, hire me, hire me. So the recruiter's job, it's not like a recruiter wants to ignore you. Their job is to find the best fit as quickly as possible. So you can take away a lot of their, work and mental load by letting them know that you're the best fit, and for what specific job they're recruiting for makes you the best fit. So a lot of recruiters, they've got their list public of like the specific types of offers, right? And you'll see some of that in the recruiting pipeline as well, where it just takes you to like all the jobs they're hiring for. So instead of someone being like, hey, what do you got? Hey, hire me. Hey, you decide what role you want to place me in, which again, that's so much work. They've got to look at your stuff. They got to look at their stuff. They got to see which one is he or she a good fit for. Then they've got, like, there's so much in that. But what you can do is you can, if you don't find their list, you can say, hey, do you have a pipeline of all the jobs you're hiring for? Can I take a look at it? And they'll be happy to send you the list. If you do see the list, go through it, take a look at it, and say, hey, I saw there was a health and wellness offer that you're recruiting for right now. Here's why I'm a good fit for that offer. If they've got an applicant thing, I went ahead, again, same thing. I went ahead and submitted my application. Here's why I'm a good fit for that specific job you're hiring for, so they don't gotta try to mix and match you. And again, it's the same message. Send your RepSelect profile, send your intro video, whatever. And then that recruiter will be very thankful that you did all that work, because now they don't have to think, okay, which offer do I place you on? Because sometimes they're like, hey, I think you'd be a good fit for this one. And you're like, I don't really want to work for that one. You just skip all that back and forth, right? And again, it doesn't have to be one offer. You can say, hey, I saw these 3 offers. This is why I think I'd be good for this one. This is why I think I'd be good for that one. And this is why I think I'd be good for that one. And if those points are believable enough, then they'll probably interview you, right? I promise you, rarely do people actually do this, because why? People don't like work, and this is the work on you guys. You guys have to do the work. So a lot of sales reps as well say, oh, that's too much work, I'm not going to do that, you know? But it will differentiate you, and I promise, I've never had a single person say, hey, I did that and didn't get any interviews. It's just never happened. So if you want interviews, try it out. But hopefully
Makes
that
total
answers
sense.
your
Thank
question,
you.
Mary.
Yeah,
Is there any other
definitely.
questions in that? Okay, cool.
No,
That
thank you.
was a long-winded answer, but hopefully that helps. What other questions we got? What else we want to go over?
Oh, I do have another question. The Wednesday call for the paid members, is
Mm-hmm.
that like this, or how's a different, same, that type of thing?
Yeah, typically they're just smaller calls. Sometimes it's, again, I kind of focus it on what the people that are on the call at the moment need. A lot of times it's more sales training focused. So we're either reviewing a sales call, or we're doing like a live role play. So for example, like you might role play with Mohammed while I listen, and then I might stop it halfway through and be like, and say, give some advice, or say, hey, what about this? And just kind of help guide it along, like an active start and stop kind of role play. But other times it is Q&A stuff as well. But I like to make it more action focused, and it's usually more updates. A lot of these calls, there's new faces, they come in, they need some advice, they move on. Maybe you see them again, maybe you don't. But the Wednesday one is more consistent, who are the people that show up, so that way we're able to say, okay, this is what you need to work on. They go off, they work on it, they come back, and then we kind of give them the next thing. So yeah, that's what you get usually on those calls. Someone put, to get their profile reviewed. Yeah, if you drop the link in the chat, we could definitely review it. But other than that, any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, hi everyone, and excuse me about my English. It's not the best. So basically, my question is, like, at the moment I'm doing appointment setting
Mm-hmm.
throughout Instagram DMs, but the thing is, like, I want to step up and become a closer, but I'm not sure, like, when is kind of the right moment to really take that step, because for me, my English is not that good, because I have like an accent, and I'm from Belgium, and there are some offers and some Dutch offers in Belgium and in Netherlands. So yeah, basically, what do you think about this? Like, when is the right step to really try out closing?
I mean, I can understand you, so I don't think it's a question of your English. Um,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I mean, why do you want to switch from DM setting to closing?
because right now, at the moment, I'm on offer for a guy in UK, and it's for AI lead generation.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the thing is, I'm doing the DM setting, and I'm booking in calls.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I don't have the control after that. I only book in calls, and I cannot follow them up. I cannot call them, and it's kind of irritating me, because I'm waiting on the set on the triage color, and sometimes it doesn't do the work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, is the question more along the lines of when is the right time or how? Because when is the right time is whenever you want to do it, you start training for it, you start applying for it, you maybe talk to your manager about it, and you can do it. Is it
Yeah.
more along the lines of how, or is it you just
Yeah,
like, hey,
how?
is
Really,
when's the right
how?
time?
Because-
Okay.
Really, how? Because yeah, I have the skills in Dutch. It's for me in Dutch when I do the role plays, it goes pretty easy. But yeah, I'm kind of afraid of my English, because I don't know if I'm hopping on an English offer and then I have a real sales call with a real prospect.
Well, it's going to be a problem as long as you think it is. I mean, again, like I can understand you. Like, there's no, I don't think that's going to be some huge barrier for you. Um, when it comes down to how, there's two ways: you land a role with another company, or you become one at your company.
Yeah.
Becoming one at your company really just depends on where the company's at. I would say it's
Mhm.
easier to become one at another company than it is to at your own in most cases. But again, that just depends on the company you're at. And the reason
Yeah.
why, and it's kind of like it's interesting because if you're on an offer as an appointment setter and you want to become a closer, there's two things. You're either a good appointment setter or you're a bad appointment setter, right? If you're
Yeah.
a good appointment setter, the business owner making you a closer means they lose your appointments. If you're
Yeah.
a bad appointment setter, then why would they put you in the closing position, right? So it's kind
Yeah.
of, you're kind of stuck in this situation where the only time they would put you in the closing position would be if you're a good appointment setter, and but at the same time your appointments won't severely hurt the team, which would only be if you're a part of a big team.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you're like one of 10 setters or more, one of 7, 8, 9, 10 or plus setters, then putting you into the closing position, sure. Because although they'll lose your sets, it's not like it's gonna just kill off all the revenue and stuff. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, hopefully you're closing a ton anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it would be easier for you to look at another offer because are you the only DM setter for like an influencer or
Yeah.
something?
I
Yeah.
am the only game setter, yeah. And I am with him now from December. But the business owner is still growing, He only has like 10K followers, and
Mm-hmm.
he asked me to not qualify them on money in the DMs.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I have like one type of setting, like always the same, like ask where they're from, what they do for work, how it's going for them, if they see themselves doing it a long time. If
Mm-hmm.
not, um, ask them why they didn't do something about it, and then resonate with the business owner's journey. And after that, booking the calls. So that's basically how I book like daily 3 or 5 calls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
So I mean, if you wanted to close on that offer specifically, usually the transition is self-set closing. So setting appointments for yourself as well as for the business owner. Um, but you're gonna have to replace yourself, right?
yeah,
You're gonna have to replace yourself. I don't know. Is it Jose? I think it's Jose. You just raise your hand and I'll call on you. That's pretty much how you can ask some questions, or you can unmute once we're done talking. You can ask questions that way. But yeah, just pretty much you'll have to replace yourself in some way. So that might mean like making it clear to the business owner, hey, I would like to close. If I were to find a way to replace myself and we can start booking, more calls, like what would that look like? Again, a lot of this stuff is negotiating the role, negotiating the growth. But because of
yeah.
the size of the company, it would be way easier to just land a closer role at a different company.
Okay.
So I would apply for closer roles elsewhere, but still have that conversation. Like if you're like, hey, I like this role. I think I would do good at this role. I think I would be a good closer at this role. Then I would say it also you can have that conversation. But if you think about it, for the business owner, he has to make a choice. It's either he replaces you and gets off the phones completely as the business owner and trusts you to handle all the incoming revenue, or that new person you brought in would have to book so many calls that it can keep both of your calendars full.
Yeah.
Right. So again, so you'd have to have that conversation. But if we're just looking like, what's the quickest way to go from your position right now to closing role, where you're taking a decent amount of calls, it's definitely going to be just applying somewhere. Make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Let's look at this profile real quick, and then Jose, if you got a question, we can answer that as well. Praise. Let me share screen real quick. It looks like your intro video didn't load for some reason. I'm not sure why, but we can look at everything else. And if you've got a link to your intro video, Loom specifically, you can drop that in the chat, and then we can look at that. But taking a look at your profile, you got a good headshot. Cool. Headlines filled out nicely. Got the revenue, everything filled out. Let's take a look at your about page. Results driven, experience in both outbound, cold outreach, DM setting. That's good. We've got some achievement stuff here. Maintain an organized pipeline, navigator, outreach, ticket price on average, cash collected, all there. Cool. 20 follow-ups. Cool. So we've got a decent about here. Like I said, we couldn't see the profile video. Is this just your normal resume in here? Make sure that this is on viewer mode so that people that click the link don't have to request access, because when they try to see it, they won't see nothing. Okay, you've got this here, screenshots of tracking sheets and stuff. That's good. Sweet. So this is what I mean when I say portfolio. It can be call recordings, but it can also just be like screenshots of sheets, screenshots of like Slack channel communication of you like booking calls, closing deals. So this is good. Let's see, we've got employment history. And what I always say with employment history is you want the details part of the employment history to be very achievement based, because just based on the role of outbound DM setter or closer or whatever, business owners will know what you did. So you don't have to spend time saying like booked calls, made dials. Focus on like what you achieved there. So ticket sizes, set to close rate. If you had show rate, that would be good too as an appointment setter to put there. So this is definitely good. And then this is obviously a different type of role. Again, though, we can still make it achievement based. Like as a sales associate there, what did you achieve? Were you win any awards? Were you the #1 sales associate on the team? What did you achieve there is what I would try to throw in here, rather than just like web design, set appointments. Again, if you have any like show rates that you can put here, close rates of your appointments specifically, that would also be good. And again, it's just going to be the same advice. Are there any achievements that we can throw in here? Customer rep, internet service provider. So this was like a technical support kind of thing. And even if it's not a sales role where you're generating revenue, the reason why you want to put different achievements is business owners like to see, and you just want to showcase that you win at everything you do. Like you just have the habit of being a high performer. So even if you were the top performer or the go-to person, or you have a leadership position, you're a supervisor, if you're just a high performer, you want to showcase that, because usually when people perform highly in one area, they do so in the next as well. Does that make sense to everyone? Cool. So that's what you want to come across in your history. How can I showcase that I outperformed? I was a high performer. I achieved good things here. I helped the company grow. I helped the company achieve goals. What did we get done, right? If you were a closer on an offer and that offer was doing 100K a month, and by the time you left, they were doing 300K a month, you were part of that growth. So I would mention that, right? And then obviously education, you can put actual school, you can put like courses and stuff you've gone through, trainers you've learned from, if you've like bought any like programs and stuff like that, you can throw that there. But yeah, other than that, pretty solid. I'm not sure if you dropped the intro video. Yeah, here it is. Let's take a look at that.
My name is Praise, and I'm sending you this
Can you guys hear this?
video because I would love to work with you as a setter. Now, hello, my name is Praise, and I'm sending you this video because I would love to work with you as a setter. Now, my experience lies in outbound DM setting using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, where I sold lead generation packages for an average of $2,000 per package. and I have generated over $40,000 in revenue this month. And I booked 2 appointments consistently every day with an average set to close rate of 33%. I look forward to working with your company and growing long term. I've also undergone training in Closer College by Time Martin, which helped me understand prospect discovery and understanding my prospect pain, and also objection handling and navigating the prospect in the best possible decision for them. I look forward to working with you and being the top performing setter on your offer. I will absolutely obsess and deliver results for you on your role. Thank you for having me.
Nothing wrong with anything you said. The one critique I'll give you is the energy that you have. Remember, these intro videos, you are selling yourself, right? And business owners, when they watch this, they're going to say, okay, his tone, his energy, his demeanor, everything that he's portraying here, if I were to take the words out of his mouth and put my pitch in his mouth and he presented it like that, would he sell? That's the question business owners are subconsciously asking themselves when they watch your intro videos. The intro videos, most business owners, they don't care too much about what you say. It's about like how you say it. Do you have good energy? Do you have good cadence? Do you come across conversational? Are you in a proper environment with good lighting, good setup, everything like that, where I could put you in front of high level prospects? These are all the questions they're asking, and that's why they don't care much about a resume. They care about the video, right? So I want to see some energy, some excitement, because you're pretty much making a 1 minute video talking about how awesome you are as a service provider, right? So if there's no energy behind that, how do you expect them to believe it? Sales is about a transfer of belief, right? So I want to believe that you are an awesome setter, right? You should be saying, hey, in my last role, I was booking 2 appointments every single day, generated over $40,000 in the first month. Like, I want to see you like sell it. Sell what you're capable of. Talk about it like it's awesome, because it is. Did a great job. So let them know that. Does that make sense? Cool. I don't think you've got your mic in, but hopefully that makes sense. If you like, again, nothing wrong with anything you said. I want to address the energy. Cool. I know there's a hand up there, but Jose, I think you had a question before that.
Thank you,
What's
Ty.
up, man? No problem.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Already. So it's a pleasure to be here. I'm a newbie. Just found out about your platform. I think it's incredible, man. It's a lot of people selling $8,000 just to land a job. So you're doing an amazing job. Um, so I'm just a newbie here. I come from the insurance space. I want to break into high ticket sales. So I just found out about this platform, just joined the call. So is there like a step by step that I should follow just to land an offer?
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this call, actually, but I would say it depends on what you're trying to do. So let me ask you a couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
One, what role are you going for?
Closer.
Okay.
And I'm the
Are
closer.
you if I were to throw you on a call right now, are you confident in your ability to at least conduct the closer call? You understand how the call goes from beginning to end?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm still training because I've done the NEPQ courses with Jeremy coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and right now I'm just doing some coaching sessions with Matt Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of understand the framework.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
So
say
just
like I
yes or
would
no.
close
If I
a
threw you on a call
yeah.
tomorrow, would you be like, cool, let's conduct the call. I'll kick it off. I'll run it. I'll handle some objections, close the deal. No problem.
No, not 100%. I'm not 100% certain. So I'm still training because forget stuff.
Mm-hmm. And
But yeah,
when do you want to land your first offer?
I would say within 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you looking to apply to offers now? Like if you had interviews
Yeah,
tomorrow, you'd be happy with that?
yeah,
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, yeah, we can. It's really simple. I mean, we get a job, we gotta reach out, we gotta apply for jobs, and jump on the offer. If you're confident, at least in your ability to go through the framework. Again, you don't have to be confident. I
yeah,
can handle any objection. I'm a super savage, right?
yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I think I could perform in the role with some guidance with their offer and stuff like that, I think I can perform. So it just comes down to Um, do you have the assets to start applying, and then actually start applying? So assets meaning the number one, like I said in the beginning of this call, number one asset being the intro video. Do you have a solid one that you're comfortable sending to business owners? If not, we got to make that first.
Okay.
And then secondly, not required to get interviews and a job, but definitely helpful. But do you have solid role plays that showcase your sales ability for business owners that want to see how you sell? Especially if you don't have a lot of high ticket sales experience, you
Gotcha.
need to give them a reason as to why you believe that you would perform well in the role by showcasing how you would conduct calls on their offer. So that's why
Yeah.
mock calls and stuff like that help.
Okay. Okay, got it. So I just focus on the creating a 1 minute long video
Yep.
and then doing a role play. Okay.
Yep. Step
Okay,
one would
got
be
it, got it.
create that intro video. You can throw it in the school community. You can bring it to one of these Monday calls. We can review it just like we just did and see if it's
Okay.
ready to start sending on applications.
Okay.
Once the intro video is done, we can
Okay.
start applying, and then it's all about, are you confident in how you show up to interviews now? Just like
Yeah.
how you practice role play sales calls, do you need practice for your interview skills as well? You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, sure. One quick question before I go. I was watching one of your YouTube videos. So would you recommend doing the role play with an offer I would like to work for? Like, for example, business opportunity or something like that? Or
Yeah,
it doesn't matter?
I don't know why I zoomed in like that. Yeah, you don't have to. But it is helpful because business owners would like it's just, for example, most closers, what they do is they'll do role plays like pretending to sell like a sales training thing because that's just what
Yeah.
they bought and whatever, everyone just practices that. But I like to kind of double up so we don't have to redo stuff. So if I'm doing all these role plays about sales training and then I'm like, okay, well, I want to make a portfolio showcasing how I sell, all of your showcased selling is showcasing something you're probably never going to actually sell unless you're trying to sell sales training, which if you're trying to
Yeah.
sell like business coaching or fitness or health or something else, you might as well role play that niche so that when you apply to like a fitness offer and you say, hey, here's my application and also here's mock calls of me selling a fitness offer, it's just easier for the business owner to envision you selling their thing because you're actually pitching and selling their thing in the role play.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, not required, but every little percentage, every little boost or edge helps.
Gotcha. I guess in terms of the billing, I saw somebody just that has a profile or a curriculum. Now that I've come from insurance, never done high ticket sales. I do know the framework, but I've never done high ticket sales.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put my insurance performance in there, or
Are you talking about like the RepSelect profile specifically, like revenue
yeah,
generating
because I
stuff?
was checking the website here like for $17 a month or something like that to get a job. It's just,
Yeah, so the revenue generated that you would put for your own profile would just be, I guess, with insurance, it's a little bit different, but whatever
yeah.
revenue you contributed to generate
Okay.
for the insurance company or something like that, you can put.
Okay.
And then I don't know I guess it depends on what kind of insurance you were doing for like deal sizes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. But just put it there, and then when you're explaining the role, the like little description part, like we were looking at, you would just put like, obviously they would see it's insurance and stuff, and it's a little bit different, so
Okay.
they would see all that.
Okay. Okay. In the school community, the premium, you teach how to do all that, right?
Like filling out your profile and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've got we've got videos on filling out your profile and stuff for free in there, but
Oh,
the school like extra stuff is for the extra more sales training focused call on Wednesdays, and then we also got like it's
okay.
just a bunch of sales training, job sourcing training, all that kind of stuff. But if you're just looking for
Okay.
like, hey, how do I fill out my profile? How do I make an intro video? Like that stuff's on the RepSelect platform, and we've got that in the school as well for free. You don't gotta pay any extra
Okay.
to learn that stuff. And then obviously we talk about it here as well.
Okay. I mean, for $17 to get a role is just, I mean, it's just insane. So it's
Well, yeah, we made the
too good to be
platform
true.
to help out reps. kind of save a lot of time, right? Instead of
Yeah.
searching all over, filtering through Facebook job scams and Telegram links and all that
Yeah.
stuff. We try to consolidate all that stuff. So yeah, hopefully it's helpful.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Ty. Thank you.
No problem. Any final questions? Anyone else got any questions before we jump off? Nope. Good to go.
I don't have a question, but I just hi.
Hello. How are you?
Hi, yeah, I don't have a question, but I'm new as well, and I want to say thank you so much for creating the platform. I think it's absolutely amazing and so easy to apply to jobs. I love it. So
No problem. Well, thank you.
yeah, no, thank you so much. And I love that you break down the Loom video, how to create a Loom video, because I was struggling so much to create a Loom video. And I still probably am not, the greatest, but I love how you break down and interview as well. So it's definitely been very, very helpful.
Well, I'm glad I can help. That's why I made it, so I could be helpful.
Yeah.
So thanks for letting me know. It's been
of
a
course.
good resource. Awesome. So I guess we will end it there. Then we'll wrap up. Hopefully this call was helpful for all of you. If you have any other questions, feel free to throw it in the community. Happy to respond when I've got a sec. We do these every single Monday. This is a free support call, so feel free to jump on every Monday. If you're looking for more stuff, we've got a call on Wednesday as well that you can see in the school community in the calendar. But other than that, I will see you guys when I see you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.